Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video.
Woo! So let's talk about this mess that is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, before y'all try to kill me, this is going to be a spoiler discussion. So if you have not seen Wakanda Forever, first of all, why are you on this video? Second of all, you need to go watch this. I mean, if you really want to waste 3 hours of your time, watch the movie, come back, and join us for this discussion because we're gonna dive deep into this. Let's get into it. So, first and foremost, what I need to let y'all know is that I was right. I was right the whole time. I've been screaming from the rooftops for a year, and I was right. I was right about everything, and now you know. So, with that being said and out of the way, I did not go into this movie trying to not like it. But being that I knew how it was going to go, there was really only one option unless the movie proved to me that it was not going to be what the leaks and what all of the other indicators were saying about it. And yeah. So, first and foremost, and I know a lot of y'all are not going to agree with this because you still got the emotional blinders on thanks to Disney and Marvel's emotional manipulation. But this movie was thrown together. And you're going to tell me, well, how do you know that? It was thought. Shut up. Shut up. It was thrown together, and I'll tell you how. First and foremost, they couldn't even put together deep fakes or anything to basically give this trashy send-off to Chadwick Boseman. And I love Chadwick Boseman. He was the best to be Black Panther, in my opinion. I knew that he was going to be Black Panther 3 years before he even got cast, when I saw him in 42. That's the Jackie Robinson movie for those of you who are uninitiated or probably white people that just didn't care. Yeah, anyway, so I knew that he was going to be Black Panther. And what they did to his character in this movie was abysmal. Hashtag recast T'Challa. And here's why I know that this movie was put together haphazardly and last minute. So not only do you not see him on his deathbed where he's basically, writhing in pain and calling out for salvation and all this other stuff not befitting of a warrior. They couldn't even let him die in battle, bro. You didn't even have to show him. You could have put somebody in the suit and had him die heroically in battle saving Wakanda, but you couldn't even do that, bro. Like, this was just abysmal as far as character assassination of the character of T'Challa the Black Panther. Then they put the onus on him for basically being too prideful to ask his sister for help before it was too late. So they put his sickness on him, not to mention how stupid the idea of a person that has been infused with the heart-shaped freaking herb to get sick in the first place, because that's not how this works. You ain't never seen Captain America sick, have you? Because the super soldier serum makes you resistant to viruses, just like the heart-shaped herb does. But that's me getting into the weeds, and I know a lot of you normies ain't never even cracked open a comic, so we're not even gonna go there. But again, I digress. So we get to, Chadwick dies, or actually T'Challa dies, and we get to the funeral. Now, this is how I know that this was thrown together last minute. We've had funerals in the MCU before, namely Tony Stark's funeral. And in Tony Stark's funeral, there were a lot of people that weren't a part of Tony Stark's family. Namely, the freaking Avengers. Where were the Avengers? Where in the French toast were the Avengers for his funeral? Where was Bucky for this funeral? Ain't no White Wolf showed up. Not one character from the MCU or the greater MCU is really in this funeral. Why is that? Because they threw this crap together last minute. Again, hashtag recast T'Challa. So we go through this funeral with no Avengers, even though they fought freaking Thanos together. They literally fought side by side, fought the greatest threat that has ever come up against the human race and just the entire species of sentient life in general. And Kevin Feige couldn't even be bothered to call up the other actors and get at least some of them to show up for this because, again, their schedules were probably conflicting because this wasn't planned out thoroughly. So, of course, we get the emotional manipulation of the grief. All of this happens. And, basically there's a large time skip in which a year or so passes. And we find out that Shuri has not taken the mantle of the Black Panther because she's still grieving her brother's death, so Wakanda's without a protector. Now here we go with more stupidity. So we are called in basically like, I guess, a UN hearing of some sort, in which the Queen Mother Ramonda is basically charging the international community, America in general, to, or America specifically, to basically take responsibility for the fact that they sent special forces in to try to steal Wakandan vibranium. Now again, this is post-Endgame, so why are we still having stupid international squabbles, knowing that there are intergalactic enemies, not just Thanos? We know that there are more entities out there that mean to do the Earth harm, and we're still squabbling over resources and lines on a map, which these aliens don't give a shit about. We're all ants to them, so why would they care? So this is more just unnecessary, contrived conflict in the MCU just for conflict's sake, because again, they had to put this in substitute for a good story. So, you know, that all that takes place, America bad, whatever. As this is wrapped up, we see that Ramonda wants to basically kind of just really reconnect with her daughter. And I thought this was a really touching moment until the writers screw it up by basically having Shuri act like a freaking dick to her mom. Like, whether or not Shuri is an atheist is irrelevant. Your mother is grieving because her firstborn child is dead, and you have the audacity to tell her that her belief system is antiquated and irrelevant in the midst of her grieving. Like, that was her baby boy that she pushed out herself, and this is where we go. But again, we know that the MCU, or rather the MCU, can never really connect on a real emotional level, because the people that write this crap are I'm convinced are barely human. Like, they don't understand human interaction, and it shows with these like just really awkward type of interactions. And it really shows because we know that the characters that are portrayed in this movie are really caricatures of characters that we've seen in previous films, namely the original Black Panther. So in the midst of basically Shuri acting like a dick to her mother, Namor somehow has infiltrated Wakanda. Now, this is dumb for a number of reasons, but chief among them is that I don't know if maybe they just forgot, but Wakanda has this thing, what is it? It'll come to me. Oh yeah, it's a freaking force field around the entire country, bro. Like, what are you doing? And so, you know, he comes up and Tenoch Huerta's acting in this scene is abysmal. He's talking about the air and whatever. And so, you know, then he tells him his stupid name and all that, which is, you know, fake Namor, you know, Mexican Namor, basically. And, you know, Cuckoo Khan or whatever the heck he is, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I don't give a shit. So, and neither did the audience. So, you know, he's basically saying that, hey, there is a device that that can detect vibranium, and you need to go find the scientists that made it. And this is after, of course, the fake Atlanteans, what are they called? The Talokan, or from Talokan, how they basically attacked an American CIA vessel who was looking for vibranium. On the off chance that them finding vibranium would lead them to them, which again is just the shittiest motivation for villainy I've ever heard, but whatever. So they are basically trying to figure out whether or not they're going to go, the Wakandans are going to go and do what Namor said, or be the badasses that they are and say, screw that. And what do? Of course, they go find the scientist, saying that they're going to protect her. And this is where it gets weird. So again, more contrived drama, but Okoye says, hey, I should take Shuri, and we should go and find, you know, the scientist together. It'd be good for her to get out. Whatever. So they go to America, go to Boston, to MIT to go find Riri Williams. Oh God. And it just gets stupider and stupider as we progress. So Riri Williams is this prodigy who's basically fleecing people for doing their homework at MIT. Okay, that's fine. And we just get, you know, this weird little scene with her in her dorm room where Okoye is basically threatening her, and we get these just really strange tonal shift where Okoye is trying to be funny, and she has on this weird Grace Jones ass outfit, and it's just it doesn't work. And of course, every time a female character is introduced post Captain Marvel, some other stronger character has to go, I like her, like Thor did, and it's just lame. And whatever. So they get Riri Williams, lame ass, and basically convince her to go to Wakanda. But then the feds raid them. They evade the feds. Somehow Riri Williams has some makeshift Iron Man suit. No Tony Stark posters nowhere. She just pops up with Iron Man tech because that's just what we do now. No explanation needed. And what kills me about this is like they're just so disrespectful to what came beforehand. So, it's whatever. So they're running away from the feds or whatever, and then they get basically cornered by the Atlanteans. And this is where what I said was gonna happen starts happening. And that is basically water Mexicans beating black women's asses for 3 hours. So Okoye takes the first big ass L. She gets her ass beat by this big ass male Atlantean. And, whatever. Then they capture Shuri and they capture Riri Williams. And then again, we have the more manufactured drama. So Okoye goes back to Wakanda in disgrace, tells the Queen Mother what happened, says, hey, we need to get a rescue party. The Queen Mother relieves her of her duties and strips her of her title as general or whatever. And they have basically this weird little pissing contest to see who suffered more. And, you take your strongest player out of the game just because she made a mistake, which again, more manufactured drama because you couldn't create a real actual story. So then we have the worst, Little Mermaid Under the Sea impression in which fake Namor basically shows Shuri around fake Atlantis, which basically looks no better than a kid's aquarium with a bunch of, knickknacks and toys in the aquarium. Like, it looks terrible. The visual effects look no better than a Disney Plus show. It does not look convincing. The Atlantis shown in Aquaman looked 10 times better than this, and that's coming from Warner Brothers. Come on, bro. Like, y'all Marvel, y'all got Disney money, and this is the best you could come up with. And they're like verbally talking underwater. It's just outlandishly stupid. So, basically he keeps talking about killing this scientist, but the whole idea of killing Riri Williams makes no sense because the CIA stole her blueprints to make this damn detector anyway. So even if you kill her dead, she can make the CIA can make more. So again, this plot doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just stupid. So Ramonda goes to find Nakia, and they also seek the help of Everett Ross, who may or may not know anything about this fake Atlantis. And they're not using their allies properly. Like, they're trying to keep all the details close to the vest when they went to MIT. So they don't really clue Everett Ross in on the whole thing, which is why they got raided by the feds anyway. So when the Queen Mother goes to see Nakia, who has apparently left Wakanda for some stupid reason, which will be clear later on in this video. Of course, you've all seen the movie, so y'all know what it is. But she goes to see her. She's left Wakanda to go to Haiti, and she's basically recruiting her because she's an infiltrator and a spy, and she feels like even though she's never been to fake Atlantis, doesn't know what a fake Atlantean is, she'll somehow be able to figure out Namor's whole story, his whole spiel, and figure out how to get in there, get Shuri out, and get her out alive. So all this dumb stuff happens. Nakia goes to Mexico to find out what the natives know about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and they do the whole thing, and we get to see Lupita Nyong'o show off her Spanish speaking skills because she was raised in Mexico, so that was pretty cool. And then basically she's able to get down there. She kills an Atlantean with a gun. So this is the first time that we actually see a Wakandan in this movie using effective weaponry against these motherfuckers. That'll come in later, by the way. And she kills one of the fake Atlanteans, or the water Mexicans. She kills one of the water Mexicans, and they be up out of there. And now Namor is pissed. Of course, he tells the Queen Mother prior to this that, you know, if they don't help, basically overthrow the surface world, then he's gonna attack Wakanda first. And he means that shit. And so they, you know, now it's basically war now. So they use this machine of unknown origin to basically create a giant tidal wave to take out Wakanda. And they do so. And here we go with the more emotional manipulation and, you know, basically contrived drama. Because not only it wasn't enough to kill T'Challa in the opening moments of this movie, but now we have to kill the Queen Mother. She dies, and, you know, and of course Shuri takes it hard because she's drowned for saving Riri Williams' useless ass. And, you know, it's annoying. So now, of course, Shuri wants revenge. And here we go with breaking the lore again. So now, you know, because she's fueled by revenge, Shuri wants to figure out how to recreate the heart-shaped herb. And what was weird about the whole, like, drowning of Wakanda is, like, the Atlanteans, or the fake Atlanteans, oh my god, the blue water Mexicans, they do this weird, like, Kamehameha wave stance. This shit is just so weird. Shout out to my partners in crime, Drew Dill and Sarisa Storm for pointing this out. But they do this weird thing where they're like just like waving their hands around all stupid, and, you know, to basically conjure up this thing. It's idiotic. But anyway, so she uses everything that she's found out about, like, Namor and the reason that they have vibranium and T'Challa's DNA. For whatever reason, she still has that, and remnants of the heart-shaped herb which Killmonger burned to recreate it. Now, what I didn't get into was the nonsensical nature of the Killmonger backstory, which was told to Nakia, and it's just so stupid. And basically, his backstory is cut up into two parts between what is told to Nakia and what Namor, or no more, because I don't want to see this fool no more. What he is basically intimating to Shuri about his origin. So basically, he is somehow immaculately conceived by some Mexican water god or whatever, and his mother is basically the vibranium that is in their area due to a piece of that meteorite falling down and basically mixing with plant life turns their entire people into water Mexicans. And for some reason, Namor is not affected in the same way because he was already conceived, or he was in the midst of conception when they give the mother the concoction that the shamans make. And so instead of him becoming a blue water Mexican that can't breathe air, he has pointy ears, wings on his feet, and some other stuff, and they call him a mutant, which is, again, another lazy-ass, haphazard way of them trying to introduce the X-Men. I'm about tired of it, but they just keep doing it. So, you know, we get this lame shit. And by the way, speaking of Namor, bro, they could not pay this man to do any type of physical, training to do this role. Like, he's got back fat. He don't look nothing like the other people that have been in the MCU that have actually gone through the physical training necessary to look the part. Like, he just doesn't, and it's really sad and infuriating. But I digress. So, you know, Ramonda's killed. Shuri recreates the heart-shaped herb through some unknown science, and they are telling you that they haphazardly put this shit together, because there's a line that they repeat more than once, that it's not the how, it's the why. It's like, yeah, y'all been basically doing this in the MCU for a while now, where y'all don't want to explain anything, y'all just want us to take your word for it, and it's really irritating. This ain't fucking Reading Rainbow, cut that shit out. So, you know, we're doing this whole thing, and it's just unnerving. So now, fueled by revenge, she takes the heart-shaped herb, and instead of seeing her brother, which obviously for story reasons and because, again, this was thrown together last minute, they couldn't have, you know, a deep fake of Chadwick Boseman or whatever, or not even like all the other Black Panthers, like what happened when T'Challa goes to the spirit realm. No. We get Killmonger because the reasoning is because she wants revenge. That's who she really wanted to see. And it's stupid. Now, I love seeing Michael B. Jordan reprise his role as Killmonger. I really do. But they just kind of bring home the same tired ass themes about T'Chaka being a terrible person and T'Challa being too noble. And, are you going to handle business or whatever. So, in addition to making like the other male characters like M'Baku and Ross impotent and just, played for laughs and stupid, then they have this scene with Killmonger. So it's just icing on the shit sandwich. So we kind of keep moving. And she's now, she goes through her Black Panther stuff. And, again, we still haven't seen Black Panther throughout the Black Panther movie. So, she's showing the Dora Milaje that, she's got suits for them and it's gonna go down. And this is after the big fight in Wakanda, where basically like you have a seasoned warrior like M'Baku who tries to attack Namor, knowing how strong he is. Seeing him just shred through aircraft like paper, he decides he's gonna, attack him, and then gets knocked the hell out because, again, all the male characters either have to be evil, stupid, or played for laughs, because that's just how we do it. And so all of this is occurring, and they come up with a plan, but Riri Williams and Shuri are like, look, we know we can't take Namor because, he's vastly stronger than us, even with his Black Panther powers. So we got to figure out a way to cheat. And, basically we got to take away his powers and jump. And that's basically what they do. And she's still revenge fueled. This is post her mom's death, post the funeral and everything. And, of course, M'Baku tries to give her some sagely advice from a seasoned warrior about revenge and blah, 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 blah. And so, her revenge is justified. He killed her mother in front of her. But, of course, it is what it is. So they come up with this plan. They decide that they're going to draw Namor out. And they basically have an entire force, because this movie was thrown together last minute, on one freaking boat. Like, literally, the Atlanteans are capable of fighting in the water, and you put all your forces in one place. And then you're surprised when they start getting their asses beat. But again, 3 hours of black women getting their asses beat by water Mexicans is the name of the game. So they depower Namor. The fake Atlanteans or the water Mexicans are just beating the Wakandans' asses. Riri Williams comes in, but is not really super effective at turning the tide of battle. Shuri gets her ass beat by Namor. He stabs her through the stomach. She should be dead, but, through the power of friendship or whatever the fuck, she decides that she's gonna shrug it off. Namor still is beating her ass, and then she cheats by blowing up her ship, which burns his back. He bends the knee, which Namor the Submariner would never do, but this isn't Namor, this is fake Namor. So, understandable. He bends the knee after she clips his wings, and that's not a metaphor. She literally rips off the wings on his feet. And, basically, that's how the movie pretty much ends, with him bending the knee and the Wakandans and the Telokan basically, calling a truce. It like I said, it makes no logical sense, and it just ends the way it began. Stupid. Then we get the dumbass after credit sequence where they basically tell us that during the blip, before the blip, Nakia and T'Challa conceived a child, and now this child is like 5 or 6 or whatever the hell. It doesn't matter. And his name is T'Challa, which is their haphazard way of not recasting the role, but rather bringing T'Challa back, which again is just lazy and obviously put together in the last minute because of how the conversations with Ramonda and Nakia went earlier in the movie. But, whatever. No real reason not to raise him in Wakanda or without male influence, but this is the MCU after all. So, I mean, like I said, this was lazy, pandering, emotionally manipulative mess. And, I know a lot of you won't agree with me. Of course, you're going to dislike and tell, you're going to do like that one dude did in my previous video and report me like I'm doing something or whatever. But this is bad. And after the emotional manipulation wears off, you guys are going to come to understand how bad this was. This was not a good movie. Like conceptually, this wasn't a good movie for black men. This wasn't a good movie for black people in general. This wasn't a good movie for Latinos. This wasn't a good movie. This wasn't a good Disney product overall. It was trash. But those are my thoughts as far as Wakanda Forever is concerned. Black Panther only exists in literally the last 10 minutes of this movie, so it makes sense why the Black Panther part of the title was in small font. Let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.
If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.